Okay, so this is a little video for Dad and DJ on how I go about finding potential stocks for my IRA, stuff that I think I can hold longer term. One of the ways that I do that using this program, this is just freestockcharts.com. This is free to anybody. Don't need to pay for it or anything like that. One of the things I do is I have a listing of all the different sectors out there and different indices and things like that that are out there. So the first thing you want to do is go through and look at, different indexes, and you can ETFs basically is what these are. See what's working out there and what's not. And so if you scroll through them, this one's an internet index. So as much as some of these internet stocks have been getting crushed lately, your LinkedIn's and Pandora's and Google's and Facebook and Twitter and so on and so forth. It's had a pretty nice run, and now it's in a pullback. Now, could that pull all the way down? Sure. But this is, taking a step back a couple of years kind of puts everything in perspective. Um, for me, this is a nice setup to go short, but I can't short an IRA, so I'm not going to mess with that. Um, this one, this is an agriculture fund ETF, um, and you can see how well actually this is doing lately. This is going back to the beginning of the year. So for some of the stuff that's been hammered, what's working right now? Agriculture. So I could look for something in that sector that's doing well. This is the biotech index, and this is the one that's kind of got my attention right now. Um, what I have got here again are these weekly support lines, but you can see biotechs have just been on a run. This is why that Janus Global Life Sciences did so well last year. Biotechs, the Celgene that DJ had, did so well. Um, but what's interesting here is in this pattern, it's gone up and everything is up, pulls back, goes up, pulls back, up, pulls back, up, pulls back. I mean, that's how uptrends are. Now, this is a steep pullback, but you can see that it came down into this support line and bounced off of it. And that's what happens here. You can see here it goes, went below that support line before it came back up and then resumed an uptrend. So that's kind of an interesting sign. So I get interested here in, okay, these are biotech stocks. So you can buy the ETF. That's one way to do it. So then what I do is then zoom in and look at it on a daily perspective and kind of, um, if you go back, well, let's go back. And this is why you want to pull back and look at the big picture. Big picture, this thing is up. If you zoom in too much and say, all right, let's just go back to the last month or so, yeah, this thing is just doing nothing but going down. Why would I want to buy this? Well, because that was just a pullback inside maybe a bigger uptrend. So here on the daily chart, you can see this has gone down, and here it sold off, and then it came back up, and this 200-day moving average, you'll hear a lot of people talk about that, got below it, came above it, came back down, retested that 200, couldn't stay below it, came back up. So to me, this is what I call a bottoming formation. What I look for first is a green bar to finish and close out above this white line. Um, if you wait for that first, there's two things that have to happen. You have to have a green bar close above this white line. Then you want a red bar that can't finish and close below the white line. Then you want to go in long above that red bar. So if you follow that, you never would have gotten in anywhere down here. You know what? You might have said, "Oh, I'm going to get in here." No, you just kind of wait for it. You wait for it. Now you kind of have that set up. I've got a green bar, and then I got another green bar. So now I'm waiting for a red bar, red bar, red bar, red bar. Technically, that red bar closed below the white line. That would be my line in the sand. But the way this came in, sold off, and then really got bought, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So now, if we get the stock to this IBB to trade above the high of that red bar around 229, that's where you go long. You just put a stop below that low, and you could see, a move. You could have a move like this. That's from 275 to 212. Here it is at 229. It goes back up to 275. That's a nice reward considering your stop was right here below that. If you don't want to play the ETF necessarily, you want to do an individual stock. The next thing I do is I go to this stop, which is called the ETF channel. ETF channel has this tells you these are all the stocks that are in that IBB ETF. So, Dad, when I was talking about, you don't have to own individual stocks. You can buy the ETF. If you like Bank of America, well, why don't you just buy financials ETF? If you like biotech, instead of finding one particular stock, you can buy that ETF. If one stock misses some FDA approval, you're not getting crushed because you own all of these other stocks. And it's heavily weighted to Gilead, Amgen, Celgene, Biogen, IDEC, Alexion, and so that's where the concentration is. But as you go through this, you just look at all of these stocks that are in this portfolio. It's a diversified, basically mutual fund, but it's diversified within the biotech space, and that's what's good about it. So the next thing I know, if I don't want to buy the ETF, I can start looking at some of these stocks, and Gilead, Amgen, Celgene, Alexion, and are there individual stocks that I think look good. So if I look at Gilead, um, I'm looking for that same kind of formation. That's kind of got more of a bounce off that bottom than I would like. Um, Amgen, similar formation, but you can see it closed above. It's got some work to do, get back above that white line before I would get into it. Biogen, IDEC, similar formation. Now here's where it didn't work. Closed above the white line, put in a red bar, took out that red bar, so I would have gotten long there. I wouldn't have put the stop right there below it. I would put it on a breakdown below that white line, but that stop still would have got hit. So that's one where it didn't work. The one that I'm watching is Alexion Pharmaceuticals. This one is, if you go back and look at this weekly chart, looks a lot like that BIIB, or I'm sorry, the IBB. If you go back, I mean, this stock's really done well. Just a nice pullback. If you can buy it with a stop, you can see your upside if it resumes that uptrend is 186 to 200, somewhere up there. So again, I'm going to zoom in on the daily chart, and I'm going to look for my setup, and I've kind of got it here. Close above these green line, above the white line, and now it's pulled back, put in a red bar. And so if I get in above that high, around 156, so if today it trades up above it, I'm going to look to get in, and you put your stop down here below it at 147, and your target is up here. Um, Again, and then I use this to figure out how much do I want to buy. So how much am I willing to risk on the trade? Where do I want to get in? What price will I get out if it goes against me? Tells me how many shares I would buy, and then basically it's a $5,000 investment. If I can get to 178 again, I get 2 times my risk to reward. So that is how I look for trade ideas. Here's your trade idea. My only other, trading methodology is short whatever Dad owns. So Dad, if you can let me know when you're buying something, or if you're going to sell something, let me know, obviously, so I can buy it. All right. Hope you found that helpful. Talk to you later.